On August 1st, 30 BC, in Alexandria, Egypt, one of the greatest stories of the ancient world, and perhaps of all human history, reaches its climax. At its center stands Cleopatra, the Egyptian queen, and two men vying for control of the Roman Empire. 33-year-old Octavianus and 20 years older Marcus Antonius, Cleopatra's lover, who had retreated to Egypt years earlier. Octavianus emerges victorious and arrives in Egypt to finish off his rivals. By the end of the day, Marcus Antonius is dead, and Rome, after decades of civil war, finally has a single absolute ruler. Octavianus takes the name Augustus and becomes the first and perhaps the most powerful emperor in Roman history. But the story begins 14 years earlier, in March of 44 BC, in the Roman Senate. A group of rebellious senators waits for Gaius Julius Caesar, a man who had overturned centuries of republican tradition and, as a supremely successful general, declared himself dictator for life. He had also fallen under the spell of the seductive Egyptian queen, Cleopatra, and had honored her in ways considered deeply inappropriate in Rome. On the Senate floor, the senators strike him down. 23 stab wounds, and Caesar dies instantly. The conspirators have no plan, so Caesar's right-hand man, 28-year-old Marcus Antonius, commander of his army, takes control. Antonius proposes a compromise. He approaches the rebellious senators, led by Cassius and Brutus, and negotiates that they will pretend nothing happened. They will uphold Caesar's orders, and in return, will not be punished for his assassination. The Roman people, however, are outraged. Cassius and Brutus flee east to govern Macedonia and Syria. Then comes Caesar's will, a shocking revelation. Marcus Antonius believes Caesar named him as heir and agrees to its public reading. But to everyone's surprise, Caesar names a previously obscure figure as his heir, 18-year-old Octavianus, his grandnephew. To remove all doubt, Caesar adopts Octavianus as his son, making his claim indisputable. Marcus Antonius is furious, and Cleopatra quickly leaves Rome. Octavianus, young and surprised, heads in the opposite direction. He has just completed military studies in Apollonia, in modern Albania, and has close ties to Caesar's family. In childhood, he was raised by Caesar's sister, Julia, and as a young man, accompanied Caesar on campaigns in Hispania, where the great general took a liking to him. In Rome, he faces an almost impossible task to secure Caesar's legacy. Despite his youth, Octavianus acts with skill. He understands the support of both the army and the people. He seizes the state treasury, borrows vast sums, and secures the loyalty of Caesar's former soldiers. He also distributes wealth among Roman citizens. He delivers a clear, simple message. I am Caesar's son. His murder must be avenged. I cannot tolerate Antony's alliance with his killers. Even the esteemed Senator Cicero, philosopher and writer, joins his side. Cicero delivers 14 passionate speeches, the Philippics, and the Senate declares war on Marcus Antonius. The inexperienced Octavianus is joined by the consuls Hirtius and Pansa. At the battle near modern Modena, a strange twist allows Octavianus to take command. The senatorial army defeats Antonius, but both Hirtius and Pansa are killed. Command falls to Octavianus. Instead of pursuing Antonius, he returns to Rome and forces the Senate, through what is essentially an armed coup, to appoint him consul. He is only 19, far below the normal minimum age of 41. Soon, he reconciles with Marcus Antonius. The Senate is removed from power, and Octavianus shows his political skill. He forms the second triumvirate with Antony and Lepidus to rule the Roman Empire. Their goals are simple: avenge their enemies and secure power. They declare proscriptions. Senators and thousands of Romans marked for death may be killed without penalty, and their property seized. Even Cicero, who once aided Octavianus, does not escape. Next, they target Caesar's assassins, Cassius and Brutus, still in the east. The decisive battle occurs at Philippi, in modern Greece, in 42 BC. The combined armies of the triumvirs defeat Cassius and Brutus, who both commit suicide on the battlefield. The triumvirs divide control of the empire. Octavianus governs the west, Lepidus the North African provinces, Marcus Antonius the east, including Egypt. Antonius becomes entangled with Cleopatra again. Like Caesar before him, he is captivated by her beauty. They become lovers and move to Alexandria, home to one of the wonders of the ancient world, the massive lighthouse of Pharos. They have 3 children and live in incredible luxury. Antonius takes the title Prince of the East and leaves the eastern provinces to his illegitimate children with Cleopatra. This provokes Octavianus to act. Lepidus is removed. Public opinion is easily turned against Antonius. In 31 BC, the decisive battle occurs, halfway between Egypt and Rome, near the Greek promontory of Actium. 300 ships and 20,000 men clash. Octavianus's fleet surprises the enemy using innovative tactics, grappling hooks, and flaming arrows. Seeing defeat approaching, Cleopatra flees to Egypt. Antonius follows, abandoning his army. On August 1st, 30 BC, Octavianus captures Alexandria. Facing inevitable defeat, Antonius commits suicide at Cleopatra's feet. 12 days later, Cleopatra takes her own life, according to legend, by the bite of a venomous snake, though she most likely ingested poison. Octavianus becomes the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. The Republic ends, and he rules as Augustus, the revered one. His 41-year reign brings peace and prosperity. Augustus annexes more territory than any previous emperor to reconstruct Rome, and many of his buildings survive to this day. Though married 3 times, he has no biological son and adopts his successor, Tiberius, before his death. Octavian Augustus dies at 77 of natural causes, remembered as one of the greatest rulers of the ancient world.